the reaction from the Knicks fans is all, I hope Tatum's okay. It's, he's such a great player. You see, people are tweeting about it on Ben Stiller puts a big, you're such a great competitor. And if it's like, none of you would be saying this, I'm sorry, if the Knicks were losing the series. You would be jumping for joy. You would be celebrating. And I just can't stand it. It's so fake. It's so ridiculous.
I just want to tell everyone that's watching this, all Knicks fans, like, you might be getting annoyed by what he's saying. He is a jealous, insecure, angry, bitter Philadelphia sports fan, Philadelphia 76ers fan. Don't take it personally. Laugh at him. Look at him.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew Sistad, glad unite. Philly and Y in the spotlight.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 46. We are back together. It's been 3 weeks?
3 weeks?
2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Welcome back.
We are back together, better than ever. The New York Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Philadelphia 76ers are crying about the lottery. And we're going to talk all about it. We're going to preview the Knicks Pacers. We're going to touch on the Knicks Celtics. I did that recap episode the night of Game 6. Sistad, you just mentioned to me before we started recording that I looked exhausted. I was. It was also, I feel like, not an episode that I would typically do. It was just, there was no like stats. It was just me being like, wow, this is incredible. What just happened?
It was emotion. Yeah, very much not like you.
It was really, it's hard to explain that whole series. And we're going to do a little, I'll call it a soft recap on the Knicks Celtics. We're not going to get into it too much. We'll mostly preview the Pacer series. Apparently you want to roast me about something, call me out on something. I don't know. I think this is some regarding my Knicks takes. I don't know. And then on that subject, you have a bone to pick with Knicks fans. Why not? Of course not. I wonder if it's about them celebrating like they won the championship. We're going to get into OKC, Minnesota. We'll make our predictions. Probably not get too in depth on that series, but we'll make our predictions. I already know your prediction, obviously. If you don't know Sistad's prediction, you should check out that clip or a video of our SGA debate on YouTube and Spotify channels or I think it's just on YouTube, actually. Sorry. And you'll know how he feels about OKC. And yeah, that'll wrap up the episode.
Great. I thought we were going to talk about the NFL schedule and go through each week whether our team is going to win or lose. We're not doing that this week?
We can do that the week before week 1 of the season. Is that like a big is that like ESPN? That's all ESPN is talking about the NFL schedule?
Probably not ESPN, but I know local Philadelphia radio where
that's because there's nothing else to talk about. I mean, you can talk about the Phillies, but people get bored talking about baseball on a daily basis.
I guess, but I don't know. I think that there's more. I don't know. We're gonna go through wins and losses from 7 months from now, when we don't know anything about the schedule or how the team. It's the dumbest thing ever. So anyway,
it's a complete waste of time. I agree. So yes, no. If you can,
we're not doing that this week.
We're not doing that. Don't worry. You came here for the Knicks Pacers preview. You're getting that. You're not getting a guessing of win-loss through the NFL schedule. We're not going to do that. So we're going to start with the Knicks Pacers. That's the main reason we're doing this, and most people are probably listening right now. So if you're listening, tuning in, thanks. Let's do it. Let's get into it. What were you going to say?
I think we should do the inverse, right? I think it kind of doesn't really make sense to preview, look forward, and then, oh, by the way, look back. I don't know. What do you think?
All right. So you're right. Let's do the Celtics recap first.
Okay. So let's talk about what happened with the Celtics and Knicks. We haven't gotten the chance to chat about it, so fire away.
Let's recap that first. Okay.
First of all, I just want to say before we get into that, the round 2 of the playoffs just could not have gone any worse for me. I mean, the Thunder advance, playoff Jimmy gets erased in 4 games.
Playoff Jimmy disappeared.
I mean,
Not
the
a thing.
Knicks, good God, the
Playoff
Knicks
Jimmy.
just. Although this kind of makes me look good because I feel like I was the only person in the world who said the Knicks had a chance in that series, even though I was rooting for them to lose.
But
yeah,
hold on a second. You've been saying that Celtics were this dynasty for years, and they were gonna. So that's actually a good thing for you. That seems like the dynasty's in trouble.
They're done. But in their place is going to be the Knicks dynasty. So it's going to be.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh God, that'd be amazing. All right,
we'll get into
so
it.
let's talk Knicks Celtics. I don't know how much you want to get into this. This was a crazy series. The way the Knicks won games 1 and 2 is like hard to explain. The Celtics just unraveled. Like these are the defending champions, or the all NBA first team player, and they just unraveled in the second half of those games. I have no idea how the Knicks won those games. I think game 2, the Knicks players were like kind of surprised that they were in it with like 5 minutes left. Like they played horribly, and somehow they were there, and then they won because they played really well down the stretch of games. And I have no idea what happened to Celtics. And the one thing that I thought I could say confidently was that's how the Knicks need to win games. The Celtics need to shoot poorly. The Knicks need to win like a grind out fest. Maybe the Knicks have a great shooting game, but I can't see the Knicks blowing them out. And then they were up by like 45 in the third quarter of game 6. Knicks played their best 2 games of the season, 2 of the last 3 games to close out that series, but just a crazy series. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. I mean, this is one thing that I believe I said this during, not that it had anything to do with the Knicks, but during my 76ers, season recap episode, the one thing when I touched on the series is like, I know for you, it's probably hard to boil it down to this, but like sometimes it's just a make or miss league. And like, yeah, you want to shoot 100 threes, you're going to go cold and you're going to shoot really poorly for a couple games. And that's what happened. And the Knicks took advantage. It's the same thing when the 8th seed Miami Heat, when playoff Jimmy beat them 2 years ago on their way to the finals, is because like, yeah, they shot horribly from 3. And what's maddening and good God, like I hate the Celtics so much. I was at such a crossroads, but like ultimately I was rooting for them for reasons that we already talked about. But like for someone,
because your hatred for the Knicks is stronger than anything else.
There's a little bit more context in that, but
you don't want the Knicks. You like the fact that the Knicks were the other team that hasn't made it past the second.
Yes.
Such a ridiculous, such a petty thing, by the way, dude. Such a petty thing to hold on to.
Thank you.
You know that. You agree with it. You agree with that.
I don't agree with that. No.
You don't think it's petty? You don't think it's petty? What is it?
I think there's more context to it than that. I think it's, the Celtics already won and they're great, so I'd rather have one team who constantly wins and is great than 2 teams who are division rivals of mine. Sorry, I don't want...
They're both a lot better than the Sixers either way.
Of course, right. Of course they are. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's not breaking news. Anyway, the maddening thing watching it as someone rooting for Boston was like, what are you... It was such a poor display, especially like you said, from someone who is like the defending champions. It's like, how about you play some basketball? How about you like pass the ball and run some plays instead of just clearing out or taking threes? Like some of these shots, dude. And even in I think it was game 3 that they won at the Garden. Like some of these were like horrible shots they were taking. And I think sometimes just because Tatum is so great, like. Yeah, sometimes he's going to hit really tough shots, but like
they all are. They're great shooters,
right? But it's not a sustainable way of winning, especially in the playoffs. And you guys all made fun of me because I said that the regular season doesn't really matter that much right now, and like that's exactly why. Because the game is completely different between now and the regular season. The regular season. You want to take a bunch of crazy step backs against the freaking Charlotte Hornets on a Tuesday in January? Like, okay, you might.
The regular season matters. What are you talking about? The team you root for didn't make that. They're not here because of the regular season.
Right. I'm saying.
Of course, it matters
when it comes to these games. Right? Did it matter? Everybody was freaking out because the
Dude,
Celtics. Oh, the Knicks, they couldn't beat the Celtics in the regular season. Well, it didn't. It
I
didn't
agree with
matter.
that.
It didn't
We
matter.
talked about this at the time. I said
Yeah.
that I've never gone into a playoff series saying, "Oh, well, what was the record against this team in the regular season?" I agree with that. So I want to say something real quickly about the 3-point shooting. I understand your point. It's not it's more I guess complicated than that though. It's not just they shoot threes or don't shoot threes or shoot too many threes. The Celtics, when they're playing well and moving the ball and getting teams to be, rotating, running around, chasing everyone, and they get open, catch and shoot threes, that's a great way to play. The Celtics get into this like, I don't know, this funk where they, down the stretch of games, where they just give the ball to Tatum and he just takes step back threes. And they go into these stretches throughout the game where for some reason, like Derek White and all these guys are just taking step back threes. They're kind of playing with too much confidence, and it allows teams to get back in the game. So I do think, and that's a lot of what happened in the first two games where the Celtics had a big lead.
Absolutely.
So it's not just that they took too many threes, it's the type of threes they were taking. They got too confident with big leads and they were taking bad 3-pointers.
Yes. Well, I agree with you to some extent, but I think that they were just taking too many threes, and specifically they were taking too many threes because they have guys who can create and that can get by guys. So it's like, why are you settling for step back threes when
step back,
you have?
Yes.
Yes,
I agree.
You have, and like there was no one's even like setting picks for anything. It was just, hey, I'm gonna ISO you to death. I'm gonna dribble the ball until there's 6 seconds left on the shot clock. I'm gonna I'm gonna cross you over, and I'm gonna step back and take a horrible three.
They got into this. They would set a pick, like a screen. The whole idea was to get the matchup they wanted and then go ISO.
Yeah,
and I agree with you.
It was horrible.
And give the Knicks credit though. The Knicks held up defensively in those matchups that they were unfavorable for them. Brunson and Cat, they held up.
Yeah, and we'll get into that too. But I just think they weren't even seemingly looking, like it wasn't even a thought in their minds as to like, hey, let's try and get a dribble handoff going or anything. Like there was no semblance of, there was nothing that even resembled them trying to do something else down the stretch.
In game 1 and 2, there was in the first half when they were playing well. Like you said, when they got these big leads and then they stopped playing like the way that got them those leads.
Yep.
And in game,
which is ridiculous.
In game 5, while they built that big lead, they were playing that way. And then when they started taking those step back threes, they were just going in game 5.
Right. Not sustainable. Not a sustainable way of winning playoff basketball.
That's games. Not, but taking too many threes is not why they lost game 6.
Taking too many, I think. Oh, game 6, right. Of course.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
That was an incredible game. I know you were at a 90s cover band concert.
Yeah, I was so happy I didn't have to watch that game. No, it was on. I could see TVs, but I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, it's good for you. You would have been so angry. You would have been annoying. You would have been texting me. You would have been texting me Knicks champion, Knicks, winning the championship, whatever, all that nonsense.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else in that series? Obviously, Tatum's injury. That does that, in your opinion, damper the credit you get to the Knicks for winning that series?
Not at all. Of course not. No, they were kicking the Celtics' ass even when Tatum was fine and healthy. They were
up by 9 in that game with like 2 minutes left. Yeah.
Say again.
They were up 9 with 2 minutes left in that game.
No, that was an awesome game, by the way. Just the Tatum versus
that was
Brunson
the best
back
game.
And forth
that was the best game of the series before the injury.
Very cool. Yeah, just from a basketball fan standpoint, that was the best game to watch. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just super maddening. I just didn't understand the game plan for the Celtics. Celtics just, it's funny, man. There hasn't been, every year a team wins a championship and it's like, oh, here comes the dynasty, right? Here comes the Celtics, here comes the Nuggets, and it hasn't happened. And it's like, it comes at you really quick, man. I think other than settling for threes, like they just looked bad. Like other than Tatum, I thought Pritchard played pretty well, but like Porzingis, awful. I don't care. Oh, he was sick. Okay, whatever. Like
He was sick for a
okay.
long time.
Right. Yeah.
What's going on with him?
Horford looks like he is done.
Oh, he's
Drew
done.
Holiday looked awful.
Awful.
Just awful.
Not even good defensively. Drew didn't
No,
even play well. No,
not
he
at
looked awful.
all. He looked
Awful.
every bit of a step, not even like a half a step. He looked like a full step slower.
Yeah.
And that's just
Derek White
it.
looked good. Derek
Yeah,
White played
yeah.
well.
So White and Tatum, I would say, and Pritchard were like the
And
Celtics
Cornette.
that showed up. Yeah, of course. Who could
He
forget the
did.
Luke Cornette game, dude?
That was insane.
It was
That was
great. It was
insane.
fun. Yeah, it was fun to watch. But hey, even Jaylen Brown, I thought looked awful. And you know,
Awful.
it comes out later that he was playing with a torn meniscus. But that's kind of why I thought, you know, that's why I thought the Knicks had a chance. Is that like the Celtics were banged up
Yep.
coming into the series, and like my thing going in was, hey, all of these playoff games. So this was right after round one, obviously. So all these playoff games were like really close. And even the ones that would come out to these giant 20-point leads, you know, remember the Clippers Nuggets game 4, right? Clippers get a big 20, like it seems like all these games had these really like ferocious comebacks, and then it all came down to the last, you know, few minutes, which as a basketball fan is awesome.
Other than the OKC
Yes.
round one and the Cleveland round one, yeah.
Yes.
Other than those, yeah.
Absolutely, yep. But all of these games were sort of coming down to wire, and my thought was, dude, if they can keep it close, they have. I mean, every time Brunson shoots the ball in the fourth quarter, like I think it's going in, and it just makes me want to bang my head up against the wall.
It's really incredible how good he is down the stretch.
It's so maddening, dude. It's so I hate them
It's awesome
so much.
though when it's the team you root for.
Of course, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I don't know what that feels like. So I'm sure it looks like it's a lot of fun to root for. Yeah. So that was my thing. Can they keep it close in the fourth quarter, and then you have like the best fourth quarter performer I have seen in a very long time. So you very much have a shot, and that's how the first two games played out. And then I just think, yeah, the Celtics just played like shit, and they played like they were really old over the next, you know, the course of the next couple games, and that's what happened.
Okay,
good for the Knicks. They were.
You're not giving the Knicks credit. You're not giving the Knicks credit. You're making it all about the Celtics.
No, I'm giving them credit. Dude, they were put together to beat the Celtics in the offseason, and good for them. Yeah. They did it. And sometimes it takes, whether it's, you know, the coach of the other team saying, hey, just keep shooting step back threes, you know, maybe it's like sometimes it's just dumb.
You can't just give the Knicks credit. You have to bring it back to the Celtics.
I'm saying that sometimes, like, these things, every once in a while, they go your way, and they went the Knicks' way, and they took advantage of it. So good for them.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Unbelievable, dude.
Are we ready to preview this Pacers series, Eastern Conference Finals, or do you want to? You had issues with my take. What do you want to do?
Yeah. So yes. All right. So let's get into it now. So I want to know.
Roasting? This is a roasting. You're roasting me.
No, I'm
right?
not going to roast you. I'm not going to roast you.
Can.
I'm just gonna listen. Disclaimer for anyone listening to this.
Don't give a disclaimer.
Andrew and I have been friends for.
Don't give a disclaimer. 10 years. Come on, no one.
Anything I say to him, it's strictly sports related. But why do you like? I just want to know, like, what is going through your head as you're watching these basketball games? What are you thinking about? Because, like, here's what I'm thinking. I remember you, like, I'm thinking back to, you know, our season preview episodes, and you were whining about the fit. Oh, how's Towns going to fit? It's like, oh, he's going to fit. It's like, oh, here's how he's going to fit. He's the second best center in the NBA, and he's going to be playing with a top point guard in the league. And he's going to be surrounded by 3 really talented athletic wings who can defend. So I don't want to hear like, oh, but is drop cover? It's like, what are you talking about? How many times did his quote unquote drop coverage defense weakness? How many times did that hurt them in the playoffs? How many teams do you see picking
Hold on,
Cat
time out.
apart
Time out. Can I just I
with their
want you to
pick and roll?
continue. I want you to continue. The
Go
problem
ahead.
with what you just said is the Knicks didn't deploy him in drop coverage against the Celtics. They just switched everything. All right, continue.
Okay, so then why are you sweating about it then? If you know, oh, we'll just switch on it
Continue.
then.
I'll
We'll just
answer later.
switch. Okay.
What else you have? Keep going.
Um, what else do I have? I want an apology for your ridiculous Mikal Bridges take.
What was
Everybody.
it? Wait, what was
Oh,
Mick?
he's not good. Oh, he can't defend. It's like, oh, five. And
Okay.
dude, the 5 first-round picks. Here's what you get. You got a really good player for 5 first-round picks. Okay, you got someone who is long, athletic, can defend, dribble, shoot, pass. What more do you want? What more do you want? Your championship window is now. If you had to quote unquote overpay, which I wouldn't call it that, but if you had to overpay for someone who's going to help your team win a championship, you do it, and you don't
What's going
whine
on right
that
now?
it
What are you
costs.
hitting?
I'm hitting the table.
Yeah,
You don't
stop hitting the
whine.
table.
I would have
Stop
only
hitting the
given four
table.
first-round picks. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, grow up. Not you, but like
No, you could say it
everybody.
to me.
No,
Tell me
no,
to
because
grow up.
I don't really think that you were really on the whole 5 first-round picks train. But like
Of course I wasn't.
every
I
time
wasn't
you
on any
look
of
up,
this.
and like Mikal Bridges, every time he like missed a 3-point shot, people would say, "Oh, they paid 5 first-round picks." It's like, shut up. It's like, oh, were you complaining when he stole the ball to win game 2? Were you
Which
complaining
game?
about the 5? Right, exactly. My point exactly. Did you see him at the ends in the beginning of the fourth quarter in each of the first games 1 and 2? Like, this is why I was telling you that I love this guy, and I was so mad when they traded for him in the offseason because I knew this was going to happen. And it's like, you guys all make fun of me for my Anunoby take. Like, Anunoby's not doing that in the beginning of the fourth quarter as they're coming back. Anunoby's not.
Actually, he kind of did a couple times.
What?
He actually kind of did in
Oh,
that
when he
game that
scored 2 points in game 3, or 5 points in game
no,
4.
when
Okay.
he scored the first 8 points of the third
Oh,
quarter.
stop. The third
Okay.
quarter. Okay.
Okay, anyway, keep going, keep going.
Just
Sorry, keep going.
ridiculous. Like, how about everyone just appreciates that they have a really good team and stop bitching about the first
Okay.
round picks? Which, by the way, the first round picks, like, they're going to be obviously going to be picking in the late 20s,
Mhm.
every single time. So like, oh, it's just stop. Everyone be
Okay.
happy. And like, I don't want to hear about drop coverage, and I don't want to hear about, oh, his on ball defense wasn't very good. So it looks pretty damn good to me. So that's it. That's how they're gonna fit. Oh, how is Bridges gonna fit this team? It's like,
I don't think people were saying that
Bridges would
before.
fit. I think
People
you
were
were saying that, and I think like
no.
anyone who watches
You got it
basketball
wrong. You got it wrong right now. You got it wrong right now.
knows
It's okay.
that that
You're getting
he
things
is
mixed up.
literally
Can't think
would
straight.
fit on any team in the NBA.
Okay.
Literally
Keep
every
going.
single
What
one.
else you got? What else you got? Come on. Bring it more. I want it more.
You
I'm
are
taking these
tired,
down.
man. You are. Yeah, go ahead. Take him down and drop
I'm tired of
coverage.
you crying like this. Okay. Everyone listening, every Knicks fan listening to this, just laugh this
Drop
off.
coverage.
Here's what's
Yeah, just drop coverage. By the way,
all
I don't
right.
hear
Oh
I don't
God.
hear any criticism for Mr. Long Arms when he scores 2 points in a playoff game. I don't hear, nobody ever blame, why
Why are
doesn't
you
anyone
making
ever
this?
blame?
Why? I don't even understand. So, okay, so your Knicks fans should be happy. They shouldn't complain, but you should complain about OG, the player I don't want you to complain about. That's what you're saying.
That's right.
Don't complain about anyone on your team except the player that I don't like. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Just be fair. Be fair across the board. I don't see
Yeah, let's.
why is there way more criticism for Bridges, who is better than Anunoby? Why
Oh
is there
my
so much
God.
more complaining
Oh
about him than
Jesus.
there is Anunoby? Can you
All
answer
right,
me that question?
I'm going to answer all of your
Everybody
points.
wanted the coach fired because they lost one game in round 1 against Detroit. And now all of a sudden it's and now you're throwing garbage at people walking down the street in a Pacers jersey. Come on, get a grip. It's like, what are we doing? If this is Philadelphia, it would be front page news. Evil Philadelphia fans throw garbage at an innocent citizen walking down the street.
Are you done?
Sure. So you didn't answer my question though. So what goes through your head as you're watching?
I haven't answered your question because you haven't stopped talking. You haven't stopped crying about nothing.
I'm
making
not crying,
stuff up.
dude. I'm not
Yeah,
crying.
You are. Yeah,
I'm
you
just saying
are.
you're
pathetic.
sitting there. No, it's not.
Hold on a second. Let me just. I just want to tell everyone that's watching this or listening to this, all Knicks fans, like, you might be getting annoyed by what he's saying. Yeah, why is he telling me? He thinks he's the gatekeeper for all sports fans. If you listen to this podcast before, you know that. First off. Now, secondly, he is a jealous, insecure, angry, bitter Philadelphia sports fan, Philadelphia 76ers fan. The night that the Sixers lost out on Cooper Flag, the Knicks played their best game of the season and blew out the Boston Celtics to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. He is bitter. Don't take it personally. Laugh at him. Look at him. He's a bitter fan. His team is a disaster. Their superstar player may never even play 20 games in a season again. The team is going nowhere. They lost out on Cooper Flag, their only hope. They're going to trade their 3rd overall pick for a 40-year-old star. They'll find someone. And he's bitter. He's upset. And he hates the Knicks, and he hates Knicks fans. And this is how he reacts. Okay, now, dude, a couple things. Let me answer your what am I thinking when I'm watching these games? I'm very locked into each possession. So I'm thinking about, like, what's going on with the scheme. I'm watching what the players are doing. I'm like kind of like coaching them, talking them through the TV, and I'm rooting for them. And saying that I whined about I didn't whine about the Bridges fit. I never me questioning his fit was watching the season and how he fit, which was not very good all season. Me talking about, and I never said that they shouldn't have traded for him. I never said he was a bad player. I never said that that 5 picks was too much, because I said I don't even know how you can quantify those 5 picks. I don't know how you quantify what a good value is for a player like that. I thought he was a great fit. I was actually surprised that throughout the season he didn't fit as well as I thought. Now, regarding Cat, I did not whine about the fit. I was questioning. When I'm doing a preseason analysis about a team, we're doing a preseason podcast, so we're questioning how the new players are going to fit with the current players. That seems like a very logical, thoughtful thing to do when you're doing a season preview. So, no, I was not whining about the fit. I was questioning it. And I think there are, throughout the regular season and even throughout some of the games in the playoffs, there are justifications for that questioning. 2 poor, defensive liabilities as your 2 best players makes it hard on everyone else. Now, the Knicks, what they've done in this, specifically against the Celtics, is that they upped their game to a new level, a new height that they haven't done all season. Mainly, Mikal Bridges. Now, Mikal Bridges had his struggles offensively, especially in the first half of these games. He played so well in the second half. He played so well in the fourth quarter. And his defense has been incredible. He's been more physical. He's been great. So, no, I'm not thinking, how could I have been unsure of a player? I'm watching the season. I'm watching them playing. And Bridges didn't fit in great all season. Just look at his stats. They're not great. The Knicks have a lot of players that they can shoot threes, but their preference is the mid-range. And in Bridges' role, it would have been more ideal throughout the season, and even big picture, if he was more of a 3-point shooter. Like, I want to shoot threes more. Instead, I wanted to get into my mid-range, because they have that. They have that mainly with Brunson, and they have non-3-point shooters. And Cat, everyone thinks he's like the soft 3-point shooter. Cat much prefers to drive and get to the rim. 3-point shooting is not his preference. Did I answer everything? Oh, Knicks fans, just be happy. I think Knicks fans are happy now. Right?
Yes, they are. But they're happy now. Like, I don't know. We're never gonna agree on this. So,
but
they're happy now, but they weren't happy when they lost one game to Detroit.
Dude,
they wanted the coach fired.
The Eagles lost their week 4 game of the season. You said you were out in the season. They won the Super Bowl. So stop with this complaining about your team after a game or a couple games.
It's totally different.
It's different because it's okay for you to do it and not okay for someone else. That's why it's different.
You're gonna wake the baby. Relax.
Yes, sorry.
Don't say sorry to me. I'm not the one who's gotta, deal with a crying baby. We're not going to agree on it. Bridges is amazing, and I told you that when they traded for him. And the playoffs are different, and when everyone realizes that the playoffs are different, and someone with his skill set is extremely valuable, specifically mid-range, because you know what? Sometimes in the playoffs, things slow down and the defense is really tough and really physical. And sometimes you need someone who's going to get you a mid-range bucket. And that person is Mikal Bridges. And it's always Mikal Bridges.
They have someone else that's better at it, but
right. But it doesn't hurt having two people who can both do it.
Yeah, no, I agree though. His game has been,
it's been great, and it's emphasized. Here's the thing: it's been great, and it's the least surprising thing of the playoffs to happen so far. Like if you've watched this guy throughout his career, this is what he does. No, but he doesn't have to. Like he's not Kawhi Leonard. That's the thing. He doesn't have to score 30 a game because he's not the primary scorer. It's not the primary option. He's the third option, I would say, offensively. So, yeah. So if he's giving you 17, 18 game in a physical playoff game, great. And playing really good defense and stealing the ball and doing everything else that you'd ask of someone in that position, great. Good. Be happy. Don't be mad that the Nets have pick number 29 in 2028. While the Knicks are raising their third championship banner, there's going to be a segment of you that are mad that, they're not picking this, small forward from USC in 2028 with pick number 20. It's like, just be happy. That's all. You know who was really happy when the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Me.
I think Knicks fans are happy now, though. And if Knicks win the championship, they're going to be extremely happy. So what are you talking about?
No, but they're going to complain about the first round pick in 3 years.
They're not.
Yes, they are.
They're not. Okay, dude, they are, sure.
And here's the thing. So that's it. Here's the thing. One last thing. I just want you to know. They are here's why Knicks fans can be happy. Because no one is stopping them for the next several years. Just look how bad the East is going to be next year. It's laughable. It is ridiculously bad.
Don't do this.
It's true. I mean,
I don't want to get into this right now. I want to preview the Knicks Pacers series. I don't want to get into the East.
All right, let me just real quick.
Bill Sistad over here.
Celtics awful. Bucks done. Giannis likely out.
Let's not do this.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
Let's not do this. We don't need to go through the East teams right now.
Who else? The Cavaliers, please.
Dude, let's preview the Knicks Pacers, please.
Cavaliers.
Let's preview the Knicks Pacers.
All right.
Come on.
Here's my preview. The Knicks are going to kick the Pacers' ass.
I'm shocked that you said that. Yeah. Shocked.
You don't believe in the Pacers. You're going to think, no.
No, I want to preview this series and talk about what the Pacers do well, what they don't do well, what the Knicks do well, what they don't do well, and what the interesting matchups are and what concerns are. That doesn't mean I'm whining and saying, oh, the Knicks can't win. It's talking about basketball. And it's not the Knicks are this amazing team and the Pacers suck. That's not the situation. And if you think that's a situation, again, it's you just being lazy in your analysis.
No. Good.
You don't think that. You don't think this is... You don't think the Pacers are a horrible team, right?
Do I think they're a horrible team? No. I know some horrible teams. No, they're not horrible. They're good.
Okay.
Impressive what they've done.
All right. Let's preview the Knicks Pacers. All right. So, dude, I find this matchup to be really, really like very interesting just because the teams are like polar opposites. So in like terms of style, in terms of skill set, strategy, so you got the Pacers who play with fast pace. Knicks slow it down, half court. Brunson likes to wait till there's 8 seconds left on the shot clock to start the offense. The Knicks attack the offensive glass a lot, specifically Josh Hart, but even with the two bigs, the Mitch Cat lineup, they really attack the offensive glass, especially when someone has like a wing on Cat. He's been doing a great job. So the Knicks attack the offensive glass. The Pacers leak out, getting on the fast break. So those are very conflicting. Like, I'm curious how that's going to go. Are the Pacers going to stay home a little bit more to try to rebound? Or are the Knicks going to get back on defense to get back and protect against the fast break? Is what happens early in the series going to impact the strategy that the teams use? Or are they just going to go with their strengths and see what happens? The Pacers spread the ball around. They a lot of ball movement. They have a deep rotation. They have 10 guys who play legitimate minutes. They don't have anyone scoring more than, I think, 17.5 points per game in the playoffs. That's Halliburton scoring 17. Obviously, the Knicks are heavily reliant on Brunson and Cat for their offense. Bridges as well, but mostly Brunson and Cat. Knicks play 7 plus a few minutes from campaign, which is kind of a joke at this point. And Pacers lead this kind of proves that point. The Pacers lead the NBA lead the postseason in team assists. They lead the NBA in postseason points off assists, and the Knicks are last in assists this postseason. That's obviously per game. So yeah, Knicks do a lot of ISO, a lot of Brunson, a lot of Cat. Pacers do a lot of everyone. Spread the ball around. Mm-hmm. Pacers are last in points per isolation possession. So
yeah, that's pretty evident when you watch them. There's definitely a lot of ball movement, a lot of cutting. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff you're saying about their transition, you could see a lot of that too.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think the offensive rebounding is going to be really interesting to see how the Knicks and Pacers both play that. I don't know. I mean, and I have a question about the rotation that I want to wait for a little bit later on to ask you what you think. Let's get into some matchups to watch out for, though. So who primarily guards Brunson in this series? So the Pacers typically put Nembhard on the other team's best ball handling guard, best playmaker, or even wing too. But Nembhard has really struggled with Brunson in the past. Like this season he struggled with him, last postseason he struggled with him. So they went to Naismith. Naismith has done a pretty good job. And funny enough, McConnell will pick him up full court and kind of be a pest. So I don't know if they go Nembhard or Naismith, but because Nembhard's a little bit on the smaller side. Brunson's he's small, he's pretty strong. Naismith is probably the better defender, but you could argue that he's probably the better guy to have on Cat if they do that. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. So the other thing is, I was looking at this. So a lot of teams, you've noticed, I've talked about this going into the playoffs, but and I'm sure you've noticed this watching these games. A lot of teams, what they do is they cross match on the Knicks. They put a wing on Cat because Cat's what he likes to do. He likes to do the pick and pop. He likes to catch and shoot from 3, or he likes to do the little shot fake, head fake, and then drive to the basket. And with the smaller wing on him, it's harder for him to. One, the wing's up on him, doesn't let him get off that shot easily, and he doesn't have the foot speed to get past most wings. Mm-hmm. So he's forces into the post, and he's been pretty good in that against the smaller guys, but he gets into this. He tries to bulldoze past guys. It's not his strength, and it's not his preference as an offensive player. Mm-hmm. So interesting enough, the Pacers and the Knicks are the two teams that cross matched, put a wing on a big the least in the NBA this season. So the Pacers prefer not to do it. I think the reason they prefer not to do it is because they want to hide Halliburton on the team's worst offensive player. And if you cross match, you're kind of in a situation like if they cross match in this series, let's just say they put Naismith, Nembhard on Brunson and Naismith on Cat. Then Turner has to take Hart, right? Plays off Hart, protects the rim. And then Halliburton has to be on either Bridges or OG, which the Knicks should be able to exploit. So that's probably why they don't cross match that much. Cat has dominated Miles Turner. Like one game this year, he scored 40 points. That's a great matchup for the Knicks. If they try to put Miles Turner on Cat has to be the number one guy in the Knicks on offense, and force them into making a change. So I'm not sure what they're going to do there. And then let me ask you this on the other side: who do you think the Knicks put on Cat? Who do you think the Knicks put Cat on? Siakam? Turner?
I don't know. Yeah, I would say Turner.
So the problem with that is they bring Turner into the action, right? They high screen, and then Cat either has to come out and guard the pick and pop on Turner, or he's forced into a one-on-one coverage against like Halliburton. Both bad options. So you can, I guess, but if you put him on Siakam, you can do the same thing. But Siakam, you don't have to worry about Siakam shooting that catch and shoot three as much like Turner. So I would lean towards him on Siakam, but Siakam has the ability to drive and get him in foul trouble more so than Turner does. So I'm not sure what they do there. Other than that, I think, and then who's on Hallie? Do you think it's OG or Bridges?
I think it's probably. I would probably say Bridges. I think Bridges is just a little quicker, right? It's not like the thing that makes Anunoby so impressive defensively. He's just so strong from when I watch him. And Halliburton's not someone that you really need to be super strong against physically. You just
it's more lateral quickness.
Stay in front, right? You got to stay in front of him and annoy him.
So I'm pretty confident in saying that OG would do the better job on Halliburton one-on-one. But I agree with Bridges being on him at least to start, because let's just say Cat's on Turner, and let's say, or maybe they put Cat on Nembhard, whatever. Naismith, I don't know, whatever, something like that. And you have Bridges on Halliburton. I mean, you have OG on Halliburton, then you have Bridges on Siakam, which is a huge mismatch. Bridges doesn't have the strength for Pascal. So I think then it has to be Bridges on Halliburton, at least to start. My preference, and I think they're going to do a lot of different matchups, obviously, throughout a series, right? But my preference would be you put Bridges on Halliburton, you put Turner on, you put Cat on Siakam. I think that's the best way to go, because I'm not worried about Siakam shooting that many threes. And so Cat can play off him a little bit. And then I let OG be more of like a roamer, helping on Turner, helping on Halliburton, getting in passing lanes. I think that would allow OG to be more impactful than if he's just on Halliburton or just on Siakam. But they're going to mix and match, obviously. He'll spend some time in Siakam. I'm sure they'll throw him at Halliburton at times. But it's a little bit easier than guarding the Celtics. The Celtics have 5 guys on the court that can do, except when Cornette's on the floor, but that can do everything. They can all shoot, they can all dribble, they can all pass. They weren't doing it well necessarily, but the Pacers don't have as many guys that can beat you in so many ways.
Yeah, I think that this is more on par with the Pistons series, just in terms of I think there is a not as skill. Big. Yeah, just I think that the talent discrepancy is so far in the Knicks' favor that
Really?
I mean, yeah, oh, absolutely. And I am not a. I mean, this might shock you, but I'm not a very big depth guy in the playoffs. I think you run your best 7 guys out there and see what happens.
I was going to ask you this later. I'm going to ask you now. Then I agree with you, except this is what I'm not disagreeing. I'm just wondering. I think this is a really good question. When the Pacers play with so much pace, and they're playing 10 guys for between 18 and 32 minutes. And the Knicks are playing 7 guys, well, plus Payne, but really 7 guys, and 5 of them are playing 40 to 46 minutes. Later in the series, game 5, game 6, if there's a game 7, do you think that there's like that could play a role where like the Knicks are actually tired from all the minutes they're playing at that pace to keep up with the Pacers?
I mean, I guess in theory, perhaps, but I don't think it's just going to be this track beat, run and gun. I don't think it's going to play out that way. I think
if it does, the Pacers are going to win the series. If it does play out that way,
maybe, but it's very hard to.
I don't think it will either. By the way, I agree.
It's
last year's series didn't really play out that way. They had stretches where the Pacers went on runs where it played that way. But in large part, it's harder to do that in the playoffs.
Of course, yeah. Everything slows down, which very much plays into the Knicks' favor. It gets way more physical, which is going to play into the Knicks' favor. That's why, like, I don't know. You watch someone like that Thunder game yesterday. Like, that was so shocking to see, just because you don't really see it in the playoffs too much, where guys are just creating, they're causing so much havoc defensively and creating turnovers and just running out in transition. Like, that stuff just doesn't really happen in a playoff game. That was just insane to watch. It was just an avalanche.
I mean, that's kind of what they've done all season, but I understand what you're saying. It doesn't really happen in the playoffs as much. But on the other hand, you're allowed to be more physical defensively, so they were being more physical, forcing those turnovers. There was a lot of those steals that they turned into fast break points for the Thunder that they probably would have called fouls on like Jokic and stuff. Like, they were pulling on his jersey and things like that they would call in the regular season. So it kind of allows you to create more fast breaks in that sense.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't, I don't see it happening. I think this is probably going to be a pretty easy series for the Knicks. I just don't think, that there's just not enough. I mean, Halliburton's awesome. He's been a lot of fun to watch, and
he's an awesome player.
I think Siakam's really good, but this is the benefit of having 3 long athletic wings who can defend at a high level on your team, which is another thing that I said to you back a few months ago. It's, hey, if you have 2 guys in Brunson and Cat who aren't great defenders, what's the best thing you can do other than surround them with 3 other super athletic long wings?
I was saying that. So, yeah, that was obviously the reason. Yeah. Well, 2.
So I just think
2 Bridges and OG.
I would throw Hart.
Hart's not really a great defender. He's just this crazy hustle dude.
Yeah, well, he's physical and athletic enough.
He's physical and athletic. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then, like, defensively, I mean, who are you worried about defensively from the Pacers? I mean, yeah, Nembhard's a pretty good defender, but like
Miles Turner's a pretty good rim protector. But no, I think it's just, I think the concern for me wouldn't be about if this is a half court series, Pacers slowing down the Knicks. My concern would be if the Pacers start turning this into a little bit of a faster pace and get on the fast break, and after misses, and the Knicks are tired and they're running around, and Halliburton's, finding open Pacers, guys wide open for 3. I can see the Pacers going like big runs, like 12-0, 14-0 runs like that could make or break a game. That's my concern, but I do agree in the half court. I think that Knicks are much better.
Yeah,
I also agree about their skill. The Knicks do have more in terms of player by player. The Knicks are better. I mean, they do have probably the best 2 players in the series.
Yeah, definitely.
Close between Halliburton and Cat, but it's very arguable that they have the 2 best players in the series.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that that's the kind of thing that you can really count on going it. If you're the team whose style is very much, let's run up and down the floor, let's get on the fast break. If that's your strategy going into a playoff series, I just don't think it's super smart. It's not going to be really reliable, because here you have, I mean, it's just so different. You hear guys talk about going from the regular season to the playoffs. Like, yeah, that might catch you off guard when you're on the second night of a back-to-back and you just traveled from, Orlando back to New York, and now you have to play the Pacers, and it's like, yeah, that might catch you off guard. When you're playing the same team 5, 6, 7 times, and you can like really hone in and focus and make adjustments on stopping this fast pace and these fast breaks, like I think it should be a quick one.
Okay, I hope so. I got a couple matchup X factor type things I wanted to run by you.
Okay.
I think I mentioned earlier, if Turner's on Cat, the Knicks like have to exploit that. Cat has to be like their number one offensive player in the series. Well, as long as Turner's on him. But if Turner's not on him and Halliburton ends up on like OG or Bridges, those guys, one of those, whoever Halliburton's guarding has to have a big series, and that includes if it's Hart. I don't see why he would be on Hart, but if he is on Hart, Hart has to destroy him on the glass, get to every rebound, which he would.
Yeah. Halliburton's not out there trying to crash the glass. So
he's not boxing out. He's not beating the Hart to the boards. No.
Yeah.
He's leaking out. So, okay, I do have one interesting thing I saw in Halliburton. I was looking at some stats. A lot of them were the assist stuff I thought was interesting about the polar opposites. But Halliburton is 15 for 50 on pull-up threes this postseason. Maybe the Knicks let him. Maybe the Knicks are just okay with him just pulling up on the fast break or pulling up into threes. Like, play off him on the pick and roll a little bit. Let him pull up until he starts making them consistently.
Yeah.
Like, it might be your best option as opposed to him driving, breaking down the defense, everyone's rotating, and then they get open corner three.
Yeah, that's interesting. I probably wouldn't do that. I'd rather just, get an on-ball defender on him and make him do something. But
yeah, but if you screen the on-ball defender and you try to fight it over the screen and you're kind of playing catch-up, or you just switch. And then you have the disadvantage. disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Like if Cat's on him, like I'm okay with Cat doing his thing that he normally does, which is like not come out because he doesn't want to get beat off the dribble until Halliburton consistently makes him pull up threes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a small sample size. Also, I don't know what his pull up threes stats were during the regular season, but I know historically he's not a great pull up 3-point shooter.
Because it's an ugly shot.
It's a weird shot.
Weird.
But he goes. I mean, he shoots well though.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so ugly. Probably hard to block also because of that. And I just think it's really interesting how the Knicks are going to rebound like against the Pacers. Offensive rebound and even defensive rebound. The Pacers were, I think, third worst in the league in offensive rebound percentage.
Oh God. Yeah.
So the Knicks probably. So the Knicks should dominate the boards. I mean, and you have to dominate the board. That's the advantage. That might be the biggest advantage they have going into the series. They have to dominate the boards.
Yeah, I think they match up just styles of play. They match up better, and they have better players. So,
see, the matchup thing is, I think it's like, I don't know if they match up better because I was actually thinking about this initially. Actually, this is unlike me a little bit. I was thinking about this in the fourth quarter of Game 6 against the Celtics. I was thinking about how the Knicks match, and I was thinking about it. I'm like kind of concerned. Oh, the Knicks don't like to play fast. The Knicks crash the glass, and it makes them vulnerable, susceptible to the fast break. And then I was thinking about, I was like, yeah, but the opposite is also true for the Pacers. Like trying to leak out makes them susceptible to the rebounds, and so. Yeah. It's an interesting matchup.
So when you said, my first thing when you said that a couple minutes ago was like, so the Knicks are going to get even more rebounds now. Because if you're going to be out there, they should.
And if they do that early in the series and the Pacers stop leaking out and you take the Pacers out of the game, which is even better. Take the Pacers out of their fast break game.
Of course.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping happens early in the series. All right, Knicks Pacers Wednesday night, game 1. You want to make a prediction? You already said the Knicks. You already said the Knicks. You want to say?
God, yeah. Oh
how many games?
I would say. I'm going to say 5.
Wow.
The what do we call it on our show here? The gentleman's sweep.
The gentleman's sweep. All right, you're saying Knicks in 5. I'm saying Knicks in 6. They win it in Indiana.
Okay. On to win the championship.
All right, you want to get into OKC Minnesota prediction, Western Conference Final prediction real quickly?
Sure.
I already know what you're picking. You're picking
You
the
do?
Wolves. You're picking the Wolves because you hate OKC, you don't believe in SGA still, you don't believe in Jalen Williams, and you love Ant. Uncle.
I don't know that I'm picking the Wolves. I'm certainly rooting for the Wolves.
You might be convinced about OKC now.
So I don't know. I think that they're. I mean, I was pretty impressed with what they did last series. Um, although I
I
don't
was
know,
impressed
was
by the
that
Nuggets, honestly.
say again?
I was impressed that the Nuggets got it to 7.
So that's what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, if you go back, the Nuggets were essentially playing 6 guys, and of those 6 guys, uh, MPJ had a really bad shoulder, so he was basically playing with one arm. He was awful. Aaron Gordon was playing on one leg yesterday, and the other, another one of their 6 was Russell Westbrook, who was awful.
Can I say something about this real quickly, dude?
Sure.
You know how after, and I don't blame teams and players doing this. They lose, their series is over, then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, this player is playing with so and so.
Right.
We should not assume that the teams that have not been eliminated don't have players playing with something also, because when they're eliminated, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah, but I mean, impressive showing what they did, man. They are hellacious defensively. So that's what is very impressive to me when I watch them. It's honestly,
Amazing defensively.
I'm not saying this just to like continue with the shtick. Like, really, just not super impressed offensively.
They're not. The SGA carries such a heavy load offensively. They're not this great offensive team. The numbers. You have all these statistics that make things relative to like the season, the current league that they play in. They have an amazing. They're compared to what they're playing in the NBA. They're playing in. It's a top 10 defense all time this year. Like, their defense is incredible.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know who I would pick to win that series. I think it should be fun.
You have to pick for the pot.
All right. I am going to say. I'm gonna say the Wolves.
Oh, I was about to respect you for coming around on the Thunder. Okay, Wolves in what? 7? 6?
6. Yeah, 6.
Okay.
Actually, no. I think it is going to 7. Wolves in 7.
Okay. Wolves in 7. All right. I'm going OKC in 7.
Okay. Cool.
Because I do think that the Wolves also have a lot of talent, a lot of skill.
I do too. I think the Wolves have the best player in the series.
I disagree with that, but it's close.
I think your boy has been great. Randel's been playing really well this playoffs.
I have some thoughts on Julius.
They've got 3-0. What do you got?
All right. So a couple things. One, I've been listening to some basketball podcasts. I listen to like Bill Simmons. I listen to Ryan Russillo, a couple of these guys, and I find it very funny. Actually, they're all talking about this is the best Randall's ever looked.
Hold on. Why are you listening to those podcasts?
What do you mean? Why? Because
what do you mean? What do I mean?
Competition for us? You mean?
No, but you always make fun of me for listening to those guys.
No, I make fun of you for crying about what they're talking about, yet listening to them. You listen to them and then you say, "I don't
listen." Did you just start listening to them?
I listened because it came up my YouTube feed, but I was interested about what they thought about the Knicks Celtics series. So yeah, I was interested what their thoughts were, especially Bill Simmons.
Before or after?
No, after, because he's
Yeah.
I was curious if they're going to make it more about the Celtics or more about the Knicks or equal. And I think they did a good job.
About the Celtics, yeah.
No, I think it was pretty equal.
Okay.
Anyway, so they were both saying, and I also saw some. I spend more time on YouTube and Instagram recently because I'm taking care of a baby at throughout the night, feeding. So I'm just scrolling, and I've seen a lot of clips of people talking about how this is the best Julius Randle's ever looked, and I'm thinking dude, he was 4th in the MVP one year with the Knicks. This is not the best he's looked. He's been an all NBA player with the Knicks. This is not the best he's looked. Randle took a team in 2021 that had like an aging Derrick Rose post deadline, and that's pretty much it to the playoffs, like a 4th seed. Julius Randle has gone on stretches and has had seasons where he's a really good player, a top 15 player in the NBA. This is not the best he's looked. It's the best he's looked in the playoffs, but it's not the best he's looked. So I am not surprised at all that Randle has had a really good stretch. He is a really strong physical player that has really skilled, gets in really good stretches shooting from 3, really good in mid-range, a really good rebounder. I've been impressed by his defense, but I've also seen this. I've seen stretches with the Knicks where he played really good defense. So I'm not surprised by this. All that said, everyone that's all so high on Randle, you're forgetting part of the Randle experience is similar to Cat is you get the highs and then you get the lows. And Randle's a really emotional dude. So when it goes bad, it gets really bad. He turns it over a lot. He can't hit a 3. He doesn't get back on defense. I would not be surprised if you see at some point in this series the bad Randle. And then everybody's going to react the other way. Like, I can't believe Randle cost him the series. Everybody reacts so much to, there's so much recency bias in this. But I just want to say that Randle, I've seen him be this good. I've seen him even be better than this. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you see the bad Randle, which is kind of, if the bad Randle shows up, the Wolves will destroy their chances.
He will save bad Randle for the championship when the Knicks kick their ass.
My God. That's funny you say that because I'll take Knicks versus anyone in the finals. That means the Knicks are in the finals. But obviously, you know how I feel about OKC. The Knicks, I think they're a terrible matchup for the Knicks because the Knicks, we're not going to get too much into this now, but the Knicks, they have like 2 or 3 guys that can guard Brunson. They have guys that can guard Cat. They have guys that can guard everyone. And then I would be a really tough series for the Knicks. That said, so the Timberwolves would be a much better series matchup for the Knicks, but I really don't want to play Devo and Randle. I don't want to deal I don't want to see Cat.
I'm shocked that you just said that.
Well, I can see a couple of reasons. One is because I think Devo will play really even better. He'll be motivated to play. As crazy as it is, he'll be motivated. Like obviously it's the NBA Finals, but there'll be something else. And I kind of would be concerned about Cat containing his emotions going against the Timberwolves. A team that he's been on his whole career, playing them in the finals. I could see him trying to do too much. But obviously, between those two options, I would take any matchup because it means the Knicks are in the finals, and I'd obviously rather the Wolves just because the Thunder are too good. But I wouldn't feel great about that series. Anyway, I hope I get a chance to not feel great about it. Thought I was just saying because I love them, like I love people. I don't want.
That's what I thought you were going to say. I was going to say, "Oh my God, wow!" That would have been the most surprising thing I've ever heard you say. But
no.
Here's the thing. I should have said that. I want to clarify one thing about the Thunder. I never said they weren't good. I never said that they were this bad, awful team.
You said they're okay. They're fine. You said they're fine.
Here's the thing. I just don't
They're fine.
Everybody kind of had them just penciled in as the champions before the playoffs started, and I don't know if everyone did. Down with that. A lot of people did. A lot of people thought they were going to cakewalk their way.
Hold on a second, though.
Through the playoffs, and I just didn't agree with that.
But we were talking about it, and I agree with you that it was the roster's really good, and I could definitely see them losing. I didn't even disagree with your take. I didn't think it was that ridiculous that you thought they were going to lose in the second round or something. I just really was poking a hole in the fact that you didn't have a real reason for it. The reason was because people liked them too much. That was, and again, you're coming back to that. You think the Thunder are bad. Your whole take was they're bad because people say they're good. But really, you don't.
No, it's not they're bad because people say they're good. It's just people are overhyping them, in my opinion.
It makes you go the other way too strongly.
Yes.
Instead of just being like,
someone's got to balance it out.
I'm not as bought in on them as I see a lot of people are. I'm a little skeptical. They're a great team. They had an amazing season. They're probably the favorites, if not a top 2 or 3 favorite. But I'm not as high on them as everyone else seems to be.
Okay.
That would have been fine. Now it wouldn't have been a fun. It wouldn't have been a fun debate.
Yeah.
Because that. Anything else?
So I want to talk about the last thing. This doesn't have to do with the. Are you talking about the Wolves specifically, or that
Anything,
series? No.
anything you want to talk about.
I just want to address the. This is going to be like my hottest take. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this before. People are going to think this is insane. I think the most annoying thing for me as a sports fan is when, like, all right, let me backtrack for a second. So I was thinking about this when Tatum gets hurt, right? Tears his Achilles. That sucks. As we said, the Knicks were kicking the shit out of the Celtics. They were about to go up 3-1. Everybody knew at that point that the series, that the Knicks were going to win the series. And the reaction from the Knicks fans is all, oh, I hope Tatum's okay, and it's he's such a great player. You see, people are tweeting about it on Ben Stiller puts a big, oh, you're such a great competitor, and if it's like, none of you would be saying this, I'm sorry, if the Knicks were losing the series. You would be jumping for joy. You would be celebrating and giving each other high fives. But it's just so easy to say it because you know you're going to win. And I can't stand it. It's so fake. It's so ridiculous. And like, I see another thing all the time, like on Twitter, you'll see people say, it's always when your team wins. It's always really good game. It's like, it was good for you because you enjoyed it, because your team won. Like, there's no such thing as sportsmanship when your team is winning. Show me sportsmanship when your team is down, okay? When you say something like, I really hope Tatum's okay. Really? Because I'm pretty sure I remember, like, Yankees fans cheering someone on the Dodgers getting hurt last year. Just ridiculous. The fake sportsmanship. You would
I'm just
be
baffled
cheering
by what you just said.
if you were down. If you were down 2-1 instead and losing that game instead of up 2-1,
Okay.
Knicks fans would have been cheering. Tatum would have gotten a standing ovation as he left the floor in a stretcher, or however he left the floor. It's true.
Okay, listen, hold on a second.
You're so tough, Tatum. It's been such a joy to compete. It's like, shut up.
Okay,
You're lying. You are lying.
Dude, hold on a second. Hold on.
Do you agree with me? Come on.
I want to tell you something. A couple episodes ago, someone asked how like we're friends and we disagree so much, and I said I think we actually agree a lot. And then when we disagree, when you start explaining things, you start to make a point, you start getting into like such complicated and just making up stuff, and you're going, I don't know, somehow like I agree with what your main point is. So let me focus on that.
Really?
You're talking about virtue signaling, and people do it in all walks of life. They say something because they think it makes them look good. It makes them look like they're a good, caring person. So, right. So that's what this is. They're saying, oh, get well, Tatum. It sucks that happened, but really, like, do some people really feel that way? Probably, but do most people that are saying that? No, they're just trying to make themselves look like they are a nice, really nice person, and they care about people more than the sport. And it's virtue signaling, and I agree with it. I don't like virtue signaling. I'm against it.
Do you agree if the Knicks were down 2-1 and about to go down 3-1?
See, this is where
come on.
Who gives a shit?
I think it's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
The thing is, I think the people you're talking, like celebrity Knicks fans, like a Ben Stiller, I think he would say the same thing.
It's not just celebrity. It's the whole Twitter sphere. It's everybody who is a Knicks fan on Twitter was saying it. And again, if the roles were reversed, I don't think they would be saying it. I have you back. Are you back?
I'm back. Are you back?
Yeah.
You don't. Yep. Okay. We don't know. All right. So we don't know. I don't know exactly what would happen. I don't know why that matters. But I wanted to ask you something though about this. So,
sure.
One thing you saw, I wanted to let it go and I couldn't. Somehow you made this about Yankee fans being happy about like. First, like it's not even like the same. You don't even. You're just making. Oh, it's a New York fan, so it's so different. I don't even know. And I don't know what player.
No. This is not specific.
This is
not
fans.
specific to New
This
York
is sports
fans.
fans.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
something
okay.
that.
Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you,
Yes.
and I lost my train of thought now because I got wrapped up into your off the cuff example about Yankee fans and Dodgers players. What was it? What were we talking about again? I really completely lost my thought here.
We were just talking about the fake sportsmanship, and it's so easy to do when your team's winning. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
was
whole
going to
point.
say. I was going to ask you. Oh, no, I got it. Okay. I agree with you about the virtual signaling. Ridiculous. They're mostly full of shit. I agree.
Thank you.
But
yes,
if they did the opposite and they started cheering, or people were Tatum I don't know, something he couldn't I don't know, whatever, couldn't take the he couldn't take the heat, couldn't take New York, or whatever. That would be worse, right? You'd be like, that's horrible. These people are horrible. If they were cheering as he got hurt, on the floor, and was helped off.
Well, when they do that, you mean?
If they did that.
If they did that, then yeah, that would be
at least
disgusting.
that would be worse. Then at least they didn't react horribly. You did.
So hold on. It would be worse, but at least it would be how they really feel.
I don't know if
that's all. Because you're not here's the thing. I don't think I should say this. I don't think. Obviously, no one ever.
I know what you're going to get to.
I'm sure there are, but no one's
you're going to get
rooting for.
I know what you're getting at right now. Say it.
Injury. No one wants to see anyone get hurt. But what went through every Knicks fan's head the second they saw
it's good for the Knicks.
Tatum rolling around the ground? Yes, that is the first thing that went through your head. Not. I really hope he's okay. And man, what a shame.
I agree with you. I don't feel that way. I don't. Again, I think exactly what you said. I wasn't rooting for him to get hurt when I wasn't I didn't celebrate when he got hurt.
Of course not.
I was my thought was that is good for the Knicks. And I also don't like this feeling that people have. I feel so bad for him. That sucks for the player, but athletes get hurt. I'm not going to feel bad for every athlete that gets hurt. It would be feel bad. I wouldn't even watch sports. I'd feel bad all the time. I can't watch a sporting event without, and I guess it's a major injury, so that makes it more severe. But I've seen so you watch and you watch two baseball outfielders run to each other. They have a concussion. You don't feel bad for that. They have a concussion. But this, it just seems I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily feel terrible for the player. I think it sucks, and I'm not rooting for it. But my first thought was, that's good for the Knicks. If he's out, Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Well, at least you can admit that. So no one can admit it. They have to say, "Oh gosh, oh darn, I'm so." So here's the thing. They say. Not only do they not say that. Oh man, that was a kind of a break for my team. They go the opposite way.
I wanted to beat them at full strength.
Darn.
I had Knicks fans. I had a Knicks friend texting me that. Oh my god! I gotta pull it. I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm not gonna say his. I'm not gonna say his name.
Real. So that's a little bit different though. That is hey, I want to see if we can beat these guys at full strength. That's different than, oh darn, I'm so upset that he got hurt. Come on, no, you're not. You're ultimately happier because
this is what my Knicks
team
fan
is going
friend
to win.
texted me when the injury first happened. He goes, "Uh-oh," he texts me, and I go, "That's good, isn't it?" That's sweet. He goes,
man.
I mean, ha. He goes, "I want to win against their best." And I said, "Oh, come on, just win. That's sports." I knew you'd appreciate that.
That's right, dude. You tell him, that's great.
Virtue signaling, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
I want to win against their best. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. You want to just win, period.
That's like saying I want everyone on their team to play their best. I want them to make every shot I want to win.
Yeah.
Don't miss a free throw. That's not your best. I want to win when you make all your free throws.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious,
Yep.
dude. Oh my god.
That's great. Yep. Yep. Do you think he's mad because it came out that Jaylen Brown was playing on a torn meniscus? You didn't even beat
I
Jaylen
don't
Brown
know.
at his
And
best.
KP wasn't
We're all
right.
injured.
Maybe Drew Holiday had an injury. I don't know.
You you must not feel good. You
The Knicks
must
were
not be feeling
gifted.
good after winning
The
the
Knicks were
series,
given a
knowing
gift.
all these elements happen. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm glad that you can admit it and
Are you
be real,
surprised? Did you
and
not expect me
everyone else
to admit it?
just lie. I don't know how you'd react, to be honest with you.
I mean, it wouldn't be. It would never be.
But
It would never be
everyone's
excitement.
lying
I would
to
never. It's not an
themselves.
excitement. It's that's good for the team, but it's not like
Yeah,
stay
sucks for
down.
him.
That's not it at all. Some people are like that though. There are people that are like that for sure. That's
I'm
worse than
sure there
virtue
are
signaling.
some.
That's worse than pretending
That's
that you
scummy.
care.
Of course,
That's horrible.
of course, of course,
All
of
right.
course. Say again.
No,
Yeah, you just
what were you
broke up
saying?
for a second. I was just going to continue on about the other thing,
All right,
but it sounded like you were on to something
No,
else.
let's just close it out.
So,
Anything else? You excited for these conference finals? You're going to be watching?
I am. Yeah, it's been, again, I've said it before, but just ton of fun to sit back and enjoy basketball without having to worry about how awful the 76ers are, even though I did a good bit of worrying about that during, the lottery and all
We're
that
going to do an
stuff.
off-season preview on the Sixers. I know you did like the season recap. I want to do the off-season preview with them at some point. I think that they're going to trade that pick, right?
Oh, God. I hope not, man.
Really?
I really hope not.
What I mean, it just
I
seems
really
like
hope not,
what are you
yeah.
going to do with that pick? Like
Just pick someone. Pick someone and hope that you hit, because you're not going anywhere for the
I
next
agree with you.
3-4 years. So as long as you have Embiid and Paul George on your team, so you might as well get younger. Maybe you hit.
Maybe he's your
with
next
this third overall pick.
star player you build.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Please give us a like. Please give us a subscribe. Sistad really wants you to subscribe. Let's go Knicks. We'll see you next time.
I do. Let's go Pacers, please.
See you, everyone.
Silly pride insists that's all. Andrew rapping and Wild Bulls. Together they talk sports and dreams. Right behind the scenes. It seems. Silvers and white. Hear the call. Who's the greatest? Who will fall with this rivalry? Loud and clear. Join the chat. It's time to cheer. Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew, Sistad, glad unite. Philly and Y in the spot.